What is going on, Jet fans? I am Matt O'Leary back with another video, and I am excited to talk to you about the latest Jets news. Nathaniel Hackett spoke. It's Thursday. He speaks. He says silly things on a weekly basis. We will run through his comments on Zach Wilson, on Izzy Abanikanda. Still frustrated about that. I have a lot to say on that topic. Also, Aaron Rodgers threw, and Breece Hall and JFM might not play on Sunday. Another week, another underdog fantasy pick for Jets Texans. I'm excited for this one. 3 picks. We're using a booster, so I'm excited about this with the 2.25 times modifier. You could sign up using my link down below in the description or the pinned comment to get in on the action over at Underdog. All right, CJ Stroud, I am taking the higher on 222.5 passing yards. Jets have an incredible pass defense. Even still, CJ Stroud is averaging almost 300 passing yards a game. I think he's sitting somewhere between 230 and 245. Here we go. Garrett Wilson, higher than 0.5 touchdowns. So Garrett Wilson to get in the end zone with a 2.25 times bonus. It's time to get a little nuts. Let's get some nuts in here. And then finally, Zach Wilson is going to let it rip. Apparently, right? Zach Wilson going to let it rip. Higher than 182.5 passing yards. A $10 play on this would net $135. Sign up using my link down below. All right, let's start with Nathaniel Hackett's press conference and some of his comments. First, we'll start with, he says that Zach Wilson was able to recenter himself during his 2-week hiatus. Believes Wilson has a better understanding of when to be aggressive and when to pull back. Robert Saleh was hoping that he would air it out a little bit, turn him loose, F it football. And honestly, with 5 games left in the season and probably 5 games left in his Jets career, there is absolutely nothing to lose from Zach Wilson. He has to go out and turn it loose. And I don't know if that's going to turn into a 400-yard, 4-touchdown performance, or if it's going to be like Ryan Fitzpatrick 2016 in Kansas City, 6 interceptions. Probably somewhere in between. Maybe like, what's a good example? Maybe the Patriots game last year where he went over 300 yards, had 2 passing touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Maybe something like that. I didn't predict that. If you watched my prediction and preview for the Jets-Texans game, that wasn't my expectation for him. But if he truly is letting it rip, it'll at least be watchable. Be a little bit more entertaining than just, the check down 3 and out and punts. Garrett Wilson, throw it up to Garrett Wilson, man, and give him a chance to make a play. There were multiple times last week in the first half where he was wide the F open and they did not throw him the football. So we'll see if Zach Wilson actually does have a better understanding. I hope he does. On Tim Boyle getting cut, he says this is part of the best. The best profession in the world, but not the best business. A tough business feels for Boyle, but you got to produce. And Tim Boyle is not a serious NFL quarterback. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's harsh for Tim Boyle. If you want someone to play the fourth quarter of a couple of preseason games, have in camp over the summer, and then cut before the start of the season, Tim Boyle is your guy. That is Tim Boyle. Unfortunately, that's probably also Brett Rippon, who they brought in, but Brett Rippon's probably a little bit of a better version of Tim Boyle than what Tim Boyle is. And I can't believe he started 2 games for this team. The fact that it got to that point is just absolutely insane, but he's right. On whether he second guesses himself at all, given that he's presiding over one of the worst offenses in recent history. With adversity brings growth. Thank you for the weekly fortune cookie-like quote out of Nathaniel Hackett. I live for these every single week. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. Thank you, Nathaniel Hackett, for that. And finally, on Izzy Abanikanda, he has, quote, a long way to go as a blocker/pass protector. How could that be? It is week 14. They've been in camp. They had rookie camp. They had training camp. They had 14 weeks of practice. How could that be? How is that not an indictment on yourself as the freaking offensive coordinator or the positional coach? What are they doing? What are they working on? And Michael Carter, who you cut, was also not a good pass protector. Dalvin Cook has been a horrible pass protector. None of these backs are good pass protectors. So I really have a hard time, guys, taking the, oh, well, he has a long way to go. He's not a pass protector. He can't get on the field because of that. I have a really challenging time with that. Again, for that reason, because nobody can. Nobody on this roster is pass protecting. I don't get it. I really don't understand that one at all. Some tough injury news. Breece Hall and John Franklin Myers were on the rehab side of the field. They were not practicing with the team for the second day in a row. Obviously still have Friday, Saturday before Sunday comes around and before it's game day, but not a great sign. And two things. Number one, we'll start JFM. The Jets have a deep defensive line and they rotate their guys a lot. All these years later, JFM is still an underrated, unsung hero of this New York Jets defense. He is really, really, really good at his job. And losing him is going to have an impact. It just flat out is if he's not able to go in this game. And as for Breece Hall, look, I understand the struggles. He hasn't produced in the run game after AVT went down. But if you just watch either live or watch the tape back, they get absolutely crushed in the run game week after week after week. If you look at his yards after contact numbers, they're astronomical. And what that tells you is most times he's not getting back to the line of scrimmage before getting hit. It's not good. And I think any blame getting thrown Breece Hall's way is really misguided, to be honest with you. Last but certainly not least, Aaron Rodgers was throwing today at practice. Day 9 of the 21-day window. I don't expect to see Aaron Rodgers in a game this year at this point. I don't think the Jets are still going to be in it in order for that to happen. But him throwing is always a big deal. I like that he is out there with the team. I like that he has the presence with the team. I like that he's not just out in California rehabbing and hasn't been here since week 1. He's been very involved in the process, and you could tell that it bothers him the team is losing. He is invested in the Jets. Like, as much as they have been really bad this year, and it's been a really, really, really disappointing season, something that still blows my mind is how invested Aaron Rodgers is in this franchise. That is a win, and I will sign myself up for that. So anyway, I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments on Nathaniel Hackett's quotes, on Breece Hall and JFM, and maybe there won't be good to go. And lastly, Aaron Rodgers throwing. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.